Tonight, a chance of showers with thunderstorms possible, a low around 49. And tomorrow, a chance of rain and snow in the afternoon. It'll be windy with blizzard conditions possible late. See a high around 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Becker for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
In the midst of adversity, some are built to run towards the chaos. That's the drive that defines a Nebraska State Trooper. Mission-focused, service-minded, always ready. If you have the drive, we'll help you build a career. Applications are now open to become a Nebraska State Trooper. Numerous career paths, unlimited potential, making a difference for the people in communities all across Nebraska. Apply today at nebraskatroopers.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most. For all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Welcome to Ticket Weeknights
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Let's get it. Here we go. It is Ticket Weeknights here on a Monday. Beautiful weather for now. Storms probably rolling in here in the next couple of days. Might be a storm brewing down at Pinnacle Bank Arena. We'll get to that here in just a little while. I'm Austin Norman. This is the Husker Football Hour. Least important with me, more important with Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald, who joins us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Allo is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Let's go there now. Let's bring him in. Tom, happy Monday. How are you this evening, sir?
Good. I don't know what's crazier, the weather or Nebraska basketball.
Neither one can make up its mind.
Absolutely.
Let's start there. Let's hop off with Nebraska basketball. Now a 2-game losing streak, and we heard from Fred Hoiberg today. He called it one of the toughest weeks of his professional career. And this is a coach in Fred Hoiberg, even as a player, who's seen some stuff. He's been around the block. He wouldn't say something like, one of the toughest weeks of his professional career and not mean it. Fred Hoiberg, I tend to take him at his word, means what he says what he means. When you look at it, Tom, which was the tougher loss for Nebraska, letting the opportunity against Michigan slip away, or what happened on Saturday afternoon against Minnesota?
Oh, or the blowout of Penn State. The last three have been in a little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing. I think Saturday was more damaging. I mean, it's okay to lose to Michigan at home. I don't think the committee expects, they're not going to grade you down for losing to Michigan. But they're going to grade them way down for losing to Minnesota at home. That's just, I was away. I was actually down in Lawrence, Kansas, see my daughter, and they weren't showing Big Ten Network in Lawrence, Kansas, so I was unable to watch the game. I had to watch Kansas lose to Texas Tech, but I kept checking my phone and the score, and the initial scores from that first half dropped my jaw. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" I thought. Certainly, this team of older guys with two leaders who have been there 3 years and who went to a tournament last year understand the moment and the urgency of the moment. And for them to not come out and be ready to go, I didn't see the game, but read a lot about it, and was just if you fall down to Minnesota that early, that bad, it's not good. So, I was stunned by it, and if I had to pick one, if you had to go, which one was worse, it would have to be Saturday.
And to be fair, if Nebraska squeaks out the one against Michigan, but still loses to Minnesota, it would at least probably cancel out. At least you add one to the quad 1 side of the ledger, even though you add a quad 3. But Tom, to me, it wasn't necessarily what you didn't see. It's what you didn't hear. There were boos at multiple points in Pinnacle Bank Arena on Saturday. And I don't know about you, but if you would have told me that with 2 games to go in the regular season, Nebraska was getting booed at home the year after coming off an NCAA tournament appearance, I would have called you crazy.
Well, people just don't know what to expect, and that's frustrating. They're frustrated because the culture that Fred has built in 3 years has been about effort and defense. Playing defense is all effort, and Nebraska has been very good at that. And the effort wasn't there at Penn State, and the effort wasn't there first half in Minnesota, and wasn't there, I guess, Northwestern in the first half. And they climbed back and were able to, get that one right, but they couldn't do it Saturday, and that was at home. They saw a team that was the team they recognized against Michigan. They just couldn't shoot. yeah, they're frustrated, and they've had enough. And the people calling for Fred. I mean, he just got extended last spring, so that's not going to happen, and nor should it. But at this point, look, the buck stops at the head coach's office. The buck stops with Fred. But at this point in the season, nobody needs a coach to put his hand through the whiteboard, or like I said, maybe somebody in Nebraska ought to start bashing around a trash can. Teams are work in Omaha, but it doesn't take any of that stuff. If you're an older team, it's your job to get to the game on time and get yourself ready to play from the very beginning. So this is on the players. This is not on the coach. Obviously, it's the coach's job, but he's been trying to push buttons all year on these guys. And maybe that's a telling thing. The chemistry of this team isn't what it was last year. They certainly, they have a scorer in Bryce Williams, but he wasn't there first half Saturday either. So it's a roller coaster that people are starting to. I get a little queasy from writing it so much. It's just frustrating because they were in great shape. They were 12-2 at one point. Mm-hmm. And after they lost 6, they got back in, and they had 3 or 4 quad 1 wins, and they were back in great shape. And now they're playing their way out, and we're at a point where tomorrow night's game against Ohio State is like a tournament playing game. It's like an elimination game. Ohio State's on the bubble also, and if they take a cue from their neighbors down the pike in Cincinnati, Xavier was in the same position last Saturday, having to beat Creighton at home, and they won by like 20. They played a great game, and they just dominated. I expect Ohio State to try to do that tomorrow night. And I just don't know, but we'll probably get the good Nebraska tomorrow night, right? Will anybody be shocked if Nebraska plays a great game and wins? I don't know that I will, but it'll be frustrating.
That's just the thing. And you can certainly hear the frustration from Fred Hoiberg. I think some of his press conferences over the last couple of weeks, he's had a little bit of that edge. You hear the frustration in his voice. You can tell, at least I can, Tom, that Fred Hoiberg really seems to want it for his players. I think Fred Hoiberg's putting in the work behind his scenes. But to me, it sounds like it's almost more frustrating to Fred Hoiberg that it doesn't consistently show from his players, where, if he could get out on the court and do it for him, he would. But that's where, again, I think that's the blessing and the curse of having the veteran team that he recruited. Because you would think that with an older team, you wouldn't see a team that's nearly as prone to these lulls that seem to go on, a half or two longer, let alone even a game or two longer than you think they would. You get an older team to prevent it, but then when it happens to this team, not saying Nebraska's older guys are playing out the string at all, but they don't have many young guys that they can plug in that are hungry for their first taste of playing time without precipitously, dropping Nebraska off a cliff in some cases. So it's kind of a catch-22 for Fred Hoiberg right now.
Well, it is, and it's he does want it. He wants it really bad, and one thing coaches love is a team that responds to them, and a team that learns how to. They don't need the coach to tell them what to do. The older players are like coaches on the floor, and they take over the team. And they take over the season, and they make sure if somebody's not doing their job. I mean, how many times have we seen this with Nebraska football over the years, where the leaders on the field made sure everybody was doing their job? And that's what they're trying to get back to now. But also I don't know, because we've seen both this year. We can't paint a broad brush and say that it's this or it's not that, because we've seen both kind of teams. It's just got these different personalities that flash up at who knows when. And they're very fragile. And he's trying to build a toughness there. And I don't know, maybe he said they're quiet. Right? Maybe I'm talking about Gary and Williams being quiet and not being the kind of guys that are going to go up and rattle somebody's cage. Because that's what Fred's been doing after the last 2 months. And at some point the players tune you out if and that was the danger of him saying that this is every game is a Super Bowl when they just hear the same thing. But they shouldn't have to hear anything. They should be the guys on the floor who are in charge of everything. And they aren't. The next week's senior day is going to be interesting because those two guys are Juwan and Bryce are very beloved and very they could drag this team to the tournament. This will be the first back-to-back tournaments for Nebraska since 93-94.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys have a solid place in Nebraska history, but the way things are trending, it's not going to look good. So I don't know what to expect tomorrow night, but
the unexpected, Tom. Expect the unexpected.
I mean, Ohio State, I expect them to play really hard and the crowd really fired up. They've already lost to Nebraska once, and they're just like Xavier. The crowd knew they had to beat Creighton to get in. And then I don't know if they was in or not, but they're back on the right side of the bubble probably. They're going the right way. Nebraska's in a position now where if they lose tomorrow night, they would have to beat Iowa and have like a miracle run in Indianapolis of at least 3 wins probably. Because the first 2 games you're going to play are probably going to be against teams that maybe aren't even in the tournament. Or, you're not going to have great wins in Indianapolis until you get 2 or 3 games in. So, at this point, though, I could think anything could happen with this team, and I know they have a hard time getting baskets. When Bryce Williams is not scoring, they have a hard time getting baskets, and they need to correct that in the offseason.
They absolutely do. It won't necessarily be easy to do. Points don't necessarily come cheap in the transfer portal. But that's been one of the most disappointing things for me this season, Tom, was looking at the roster on the surface. It doesn't scream NCAA tournament to me, right? Just with the fit and especially with the scheme and the style that Fred Hoiberg has had success with in the past at his previous stops. And then, of course, you saw the blueprint for it at Nebraska last year. It remains baffling to me why Fred Hoiberg went away from that, why the transfer portal, additions were who they were. And yet, despite that, and any questions I might have that we won't get the full answer, full story about from Fred Hoiberg, Nebraska, for all of its flaws, is still in the periphery. They're still in the conversation. So right. I would say, just like for the roster where it's been up and down and it's been inconsistent, I would say it's the same thing for the head coach, and that kind of explains the precarious position Nebraska's in, just inconsistency from top to bottom.
Well, yeah, it's surprising because he's leaned on these guys who have good role players. But on the other hand, if you look at it, and I don't know if this explains anything, but you get a guy from Washington, you get a guy from UCLA, you get a guy, and UCLA's good. But, a guy from Utah, and these programs that are not great winners, at least have not been lately. So what is their expectation level? What are their, I just think he's tried to build a formula that I think should be rock solid. And should be good enough to get you to the tournament every year. Now, is it good enough to win and go deep? I don't know. I think the NCAA tournament is all all about making shots. It's all about the right matchup, and it's all about making shots. And so getting to the tournament to the Big Ten is one thing, but then getting in winning there is another. So, but yeah, he's built this formula of defense and toughness and good role players, and they haven't been there. They haven't been tough. They haven't been doing those things. So I'm sure he's very surprised. The 6-game losing streak was not the anomaly. It was not the exception, was it? It's come back. The characteristics of that 6-game losing streak have come back. And these guys are a little timid. They're a little, we said they're hanging their heads. I mean, it's look, man. If this league isn't for everybody, you got to be, you got to take a punch and come back swinging every single week. And I think he thought he had fighters, and they haven't been fighters lately.
They haven't been. You did bring up Nebraska football, and I'm glad you did that because, Tom, I'm getting some eerily similar vibes from this men's basketball team as I think we've gotten the last couple of years from football, where we know the story. They entered November at 5-3 for 2 consecutive years. Year 1 under Matt Rule, they go 0 for November, and then this past November, lose their first 2 before finally getting win number 6 against Wisconsin, and then letting the Iowa lead slip away, as has become an unfortunate Black Friday tradition in Lincoln. All of the drama, all of the stress could have been avoided with 1 or 2 plays going differently for the football team in 2 consecutive years. But they didn't have the dudes to do it. The dudes didn't step up in the moments, whatever it is. They didn't bank wins. They didn't do their work early and get it done ahead of time. And we're starting to see that pop up for basketball now. And, of course, the other side of this coin is, despite those issues, football made a bowl game. And if you believe in, something cosmic or whatever, if it worked out for football, who's to say it can't work out for men's basketball in the same way? But I guess the overall takeaway is these men's programs aren't doing anything the easy way the last handful of years.
No, they haven't. But there's been years and years of they have not been they haven't been taken care of. They haven't been built. Football takes a while, and that includes confidence. The Iowa game, we can go over that forever and not figure that one out. But you hope with the special teams being better will fill a gap or plug a hole and hope with better players and better scheme. We could go on forever about all that, but and we already have. But basketball they had the formula. They've got it. They had a thing where he's had it where the last half of 2 years ago and the last year they were really good, and they were really good at times this year. But maybe the lesson is sometimes the portal doesn't always deliver. This year it's done both. I mean, we've seen just it's. I don't know. There's no magic answer for this because the Northwestern game is the classic Nebraska basketball game this year, where they look terrible, then they look great, and they're both of those teams. And so, I do think when you talk about fragile, well, we've talked about this before. The way they guard the perimeter sets them up to get beat if the team gets hot. And they had 3 games where they survived that because Creighton was bad shooting, UCLA was horrible shooting,
Indiana,
and I was also Illinois.
Yeah,
Illinois, horrible shot after horrible shot going up, no chance to go in, and Nebraska needed that win that one in overtime. So that was a home game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 or 4 games there where if they lost those games, you just say, well, this they have no chance to get in. But they've been kind of riding that edge a little bit because they depend on the opponent to not shoot well on the three, and a lot of times that's been the case, and a lot of times it hasn't. So, but that wasn't the problem. Where the Penn State game to me was like, well, we beat Northwestern, we're back in good shape. We don't really need to win this game, and
they played like it.
Yeah, I mean, and Penn State played great, but Nebraska didn't play anything like they're on defense like they have been, and so they take these games off or they take halves off, and that's not mature. And they have mature guys. I don't know how many of those transfers have been in the NCAA tournament. I haven't looked. I don't think Washington. I don't think Utah were, but I mean I could be wrong there. But I'm just saying these, CJ from Wisconsin. I think that they missed last year, maybe. But in any case, they're not being mature. They're not stepping up. They're not. I wrote about this a few weeks ago when I said February is for the closers. Mm-hmm. Well, the NCAA tournament is for closers, and they aren't closing. And so they may not get their tournament. They may not get their soup. No soup for you if you don't. So they're going to have to become a team that gets on a run here. And, the bracketologists, I don't know, they're all gurus. They all know everything. And then these guys are all, Joe Lenardi must love Nebraska. He still has them, I haven't seen the updated bracket lately. He did it before Saturday, but he had them in like the last four buys. But Jerry Palm of CBS has got him out. He's got him gone. And there's a couple other ones I've seen have him out. So they get back in. Because the bubbles, but man, you can't let being on the bubble is dangerous because you can't control what other teams are doing.
And that's where Fred Hoiberg saying his team controls its own destiny is true to a point, but it's not completely true. They control their destiny for the Big Ten tournament, absolutely. 2 conference games to go with teams in a similar neighborhood to them. But anything more than, whatever happens in 6 days from now, Tom, that is completely outside of Nebraska's control in the biggest picture sense.
Yep, and these conference tournaments can get wild because teams that are already in the tournament tend not to play. Everybody wants to win, but there's more urgency when you're on the bubble in a conference tournament. And so, those things, and nobody knows. Nobody knows what it takes. Well, do we have to win 2 here and we're in? Or nobody knows. The committee knows, and the committee won't know. The committee will know usually Thursday night into Friday. Friday night, they begin seeding everybody, which takes the longest of anything they do. Usually they get to Indianapolis on like Wednesday. Next Wednesday, they'll get there. Mm-hmm. And Tuesday night, and they'll start Wednesday. And Wednesday will be, okay, who's in? And they'll have all the debates on the bubble teams. And they'll put 2 or 3 teams on the screen, and they'll say, okay, they'll have the resumes, and they'll just look at them and they'll debate them, and then everybody will vote. And you vote, and you vote, and you vote, and you vote. And it's a process of elimination that way, and it takes Wednesday and all day Thursday and Thursday night into the night. Usually by Friday, they start scrubbing. They go over it one more time. Are we sure? And then they start seeding everybody, and that takes forever. That's the hardest part of the deal. Mm-hmm. They do that Friday and then all day Saturday and Saturday night, and then they get up Sunday morning, and I was part of this once. The NCAA led a bunch of writers. I was part of the first group because I was used to be a president, and they showed us how all this works. They brought us in Indianapolis to show us, and they do the bracket. And it's like 2 hours. That's what they do Sunday morning. They get up and then they plug in a program, and it has certain rules. Like you can't have a rematch in the first 2 rounds, or you can't, you want to have this guy, how far away is the campus from this site, and so on and so forth. It takes like 2 hours to get everything done. And there's nobody pays attention to, well, wouldn't it be great to have, for whoever we play Iowa State? They don't worry about that. But anyway, what I'm saying is everybody's next week will be saying, have we done enough? And the committee won't even know, and they're watching all the games while they're doing all this stuff. But they won't know until like Thursday night or Friday. So and then they have to leave room for if somebody who's not in, runs the table and wins the conference tournament, and they have to leave room for that. So it's crazy.
We will see on Selection Sunday. After even the committee knows. We'll take our first break of the show. Tom and I were talking off air, planning the show a little bit about revenue sharing. So, Tom, be thinking about that. I'm curious about your thoughts on what Nebraska might do with that. We'll get into that when we get back here to the Husker Football Hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Spring storms can unfortunately lead to power outages. While LES line workers go out in the storm, you can stay in, but you can also help by reporting your outage right away online at les.com/report.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join 93.7 The Ticket this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from Pinnacle Bank Arena for the NSAA Girls State Basketball Tournament. Starting Wednesday at 9 a.m., we'll be at PBA bringing you play-by-play coverage of every single game. That's right. All 24 games played at Pinnacle Bank Arena this week will be heard right here on 93.7 The Ticket. From Class A to Class D2 action, 93.7 The Ticket is your home for the 2025 Girls State Basketball Tournament. And it all starts this Wednesday at 9 a.m. We'll see you there.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela. They let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most. For all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
In the midst of adversity, some are built to run towards the chaos. That's the drive that defines a Nebraska State Trooper. Mission-focused, service-minded, always ready. If you have the drive, we'll help you build a career. Applications are now open to become a Nebraska State Trooper. Numerous career paths, unlimited potential, making a difference for the people in communities all across Nebraska. Apply today at nebraskatroopers.com.
Back to the Ticket weeknights
on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rolling right along here on Ticket Weeknights. It's the Husker Football Hour with Tom Shatel. I'm Austin Norman. We're headed back to our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber. That's where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Tom has an article coming out tomorrow on omaha.com that's going to be a must-read, as they all are, of course. Don't want to do short shrift to that. But, Tom, it's going to be about revenue sharing and a couple different ideas of how that's going to look across the Big Ten. Without giving away everything from your article, right? Want to make sure you get those deserved clicks. What's kind of your general premise for revenue sharing? What are you approaching and attacking for tomorrow?
Well, I just think it's an interesting time for men's basketball to be sort of in crisis. What caught my eye last week is, I guess to review everybody, and again, this is not 100% yet because we're not sure how the House settlement is going to go. It's going to come out this summer probably, but it certainly looks like every school that can afford it will be able to use $20.5 million every year. It's kind of like a salary cap. $20.5 million every year to give to their athletes, and it's up to each school to decide which athletes get what money and how much. And it'll be a real balancing act for some people. And what I noticed, what caught my eye last week, I saw a story that Michigan's AD, Ward Manuel, in an interview, said that they will be giving 75% of the $20.5 million to the football program or the football players. And that's about $15.8 million. That's what the article said. I didn't check the math. I'm not very good at that, but he said, and the rest will go to men's and women's basketball. Period, paragraph. I mean, so Michigan is giving the money to football and basketball. That's it. And I guarantee you a lot of schools will be doing the same thing. Now, Troy Dannon is sitting in a very different seat where he's got an elite volleyball program that is winning Big Ten titles and going to Final Fours. And he just hired the best coach in the country who has been to Final Fours and national title games. And everybody expects Danny Muslim Kelly to keep that train rolling. That will cost money. So a lot of ADs are not going to give money to the volleyball players. I mean, one or two might get something, but they're not going to give a lot of money to volleyball. But it'll be interesting to see what like Penn State does, or Texas, or some of the other top volleyball schools. Wisconsin, Minnesota Pitt, so on and so forth. What they do, but you got to think Nebraska is going to take care of volleyball. Mm-hmm. So what does that leave over for men's basketball? And right now, men's basketball, we call them talent. We call them difference makers. Now they call them dudes. Nebraska basketball has not had a lot of dudes over the years. And if you're going to really compete in this day and age, you're going to have to get some dudes. And the dudes cost money. And the dudes some of these dudes cost over $1 million. And they certainly cost hundreds of thousands right now. And so now what'll be interesting is, and I'm judging by Nebraska's lineup the last couple of years, I'm guessing they haven't spent a lot on basketball. You have some very good college players, but not a lot of dudes. There's not a lot of guys that are going to command top dollar. So, but I think 1890, that's where they come in, and I think they're going to be used as a very good supplement to the revenue sharing, where if softball is a majority ball, the 1890 will come in and probably take care of that. The rest of baseball has a couple of guys they absolutely have to have. 1890 can come to the rescue. But really, 1890, somebody needs to come to the aid of men's basketball, and really, because it'll be very interesting to see what some of these schools do, Austin, on basketball. I mean, look at the Big Ten schools. There's some Big Ten schools that really care about that. Probably care more about basketball than they do football. Indiana would be one.
Purdue,
Michigan State,
Michigan
Purdue
State.
Definitely. Michigan State is an interesting one, right? They've been good at football, but they got Tom Izzo.
Northwestern,
and I know what they paid. I know what they paid Frankie Fiddler, so Michigan State's doing well on that end. So they've I mean, so you wonder if it's only Michigan is in that conversation. So for them to say we're going to take our $5 million and give it to that, they're going to try to still be at top level. And I'm sure that their collective will help out as well. But this is what we're talking about here, and it's I don't know what the market where the market for basketball is going to go. I don't think it's going to go down. I think it's going to keep going up, and it's just called playing the game, and this is a good chance for each school to figure out what are the athletic priorities. Who by who gets the money, and which sports are taken care of, and men's basketball hasn't had a lot to show for its history, and what kind of potential. I've told some people that Nebraska fans are so hungry and so ready to have a big winner, and they're really in basketball, and they're really ready to go to the tournament win. And I just tell people, you don't know what it's like to have a winner in March Madness. It's unbelievable. And if that ever happens, knowing Nebraska fans, basketball will become, it'll become a top priority around here. Because you don't know what that's like until you got it, and they've never had it. If it ever happens, then I think what the basketball program needs more than ever right now is to go to the tournament this year and win at least a game, and that'll get everybody's attention. They'll get everybody fired up, and maybe they'll start taking care of the program the way a big time program is taken care of. So, but I think they have to kind of earn that right now. So. This little thing they're on right now is not helping.
It's certainly not. And that's going to be interesting to watch too, Tom, because I think that you can have sort of a, not to be too cliche, but kind of chicken and the egg sort of situation, because on the one hand, you want to give money to keep the programs that you have that are going well rolling, like volleyball, right? They clearly deserve money for everything they've built, everything they're doing. But at the same time, you have to make sure you're competitive and funding sports that need maybe a little bit of a shot in the arm and more consistent funding, especially your men's basketball example. Women's basketball, what's Nebraska going to put forward to that in terms of investment? A decent program, a solid program, pretty good. But there's a hump that team hasn't necessarily gotten over. I think we're going to learn a lot about how Troy Dannon views his job, views his role, and what he wants his athletic department to look like coming up here in the next month and a half or two.
He could be the guy who makes a difference in elevating men's basketball, but does that come at the expense of Nebraska volleyball? He doesn't want to be the guy who doesn't take care of that either. Mm-hmm. So it's a very interesting position, a very interesting balance there. Because Nebraska volleyball is loaded. They're just loaded with all these great players, and it's those players cost money, and it's are women's volleyball getting the same as men's basketball? No, they're not. I mean, not on a whole, but the very top players are getting a lot. So it's going to be interesting for us to sit back and watch. I'm assuming because this will be public, and we'll probably know what everybody's making and know how much you're spending out of that pool. It'll be public. If it's not, we'll probably, as the World Herald, we'll probably go after it to try to get it out. So
your four favorite letters, FOIA.
Well, that's right. It makes some people nervous, but it's helpful, and so I think we'll know. But it doesn't mean that you can't give basketball or volleyball, less. It just means that's where 1890 has to come in.
Yeah.
As people should know, the $20.5 million is coming from the Big Ten TV contract. It's not coming out of anybody's pocket. But when Troy Dannon says we're changing the football stadium because we need more money, or maybe not playing Tennessee, we need more money. This is the reason, because we're going to get into a world of everything, and coaches are not going to get paid what they were in the past, because you got to pay the players. I mean, this is but I think 1890 can come in and help, and that's Husker fans. Mm-hmm. That's the donors who can still make a difference. But it'll be, and you know what? The good news is basketball is not a sport that takes 10 or 20 people. You don't need 10 or you don't need to pay 10 or 20, hot shots. Just get one or two. And, if you can afford to do that, maybe that's $1 million or $1.5 million to get one or two guys who can make some baskets against Minnesota. Or
play 35 minutes against Minnesota instead of 25.
Well, or beat Michigan. If they'd have had a couple, I'm not blaming anybody in that game, but I mean, let's face it, Nebraska is not a great offensive team. So you go out and get some guys, and Bryce Williams has been great. Okay, he's been great, but I'm just saying he needs some help, and the help is out there, but it costs money.
That it does. Speaking of costing money, we get paid here, so we got to pay the bills. We will take a break. We'll be right back. One more segment of Husker Football Hour with Tom Shatel in just a sec. Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
MWA Pro Wrestling returns to Lincoln Friday night, March 7th at the First Avenue Social Hall. And in Beatrice at the Beatrice Auditorium on Saturday night, March 8th at 7 p.m. Don't miss 2 huge shows. Visit Facebook.com/MWA Pro Wrestling for more information. Tickets are on sale for both events. Friday night, March 7th, 7:30 p.m. First Avenue Social Hall in Lincoln. Saturday night, March 8th at the Beatrice Auditorium, 7 p.m. Brought to you by 10 Pins Fun Center, Felipe Electric, and Stone Hollow Brewing Company.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys. You'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
There's no place like McKinney's Irish Pub for St. Patrick's Day, so mark your calendars to join in on the fun for their 11th annual Street Festival. The party starts on Saturday, March 15th, with tons of giveaways, a kilt contest, great Irish food, and green beer, and continues on Monday the 17th for actual St. Patrick's Day. Doors open for the bar at 11 a.m. on Saturday and 9 a.m. on Monday, and the street party starts at 2 p.m. both days. Don't miss out on great music and great fun with no cover charge for St. Patrick's Day weekend at McKinney's 8th and P in the Haymarket.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
St. Patrick's Day is on a Monday this year, but St. Patrick's Eve is on a Sunday, and you won't want to miss that party at Matson's Bowling and Billiards. Families are welcome to join in on the Olympics and win great prizes, or just come down to have one of Sarah's favorites, corned beef and cabbage, or one of Brady's favorites, bangers and mash. Plus, great music all afternoon from Crosby, Stills, Bangers and Mash. That's St. Patrick's Eve on Sunday, March 16th at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Back to the Ticket weeknights
on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final segment here on the Husker Football Hour. We're on our VIP line, sponsored by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Talking some college football revenue sharing here with Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald. Tom, I do think you raise a good point about the involvement of 1890, right, where the 20.5 is coming from internally, from the athletic department, but then 1890 is certainly going to be there to support and raise some funds. Just to get it clear for people, I know you've mentioned this, but the 1890 involvement and contributions to Husker athletes, how do you view those? Do you view those as supplemental for the big money sports? Do you view them more as the funding for the sports that maybe get left out of the $20.5 million, a hybrid of both? What do you see 1890's full role being moving forward?
I just think it'll be a very important cog in the machine or it'll be a very important I guess in the whole scheme of things, they will take care of certain needs that the coaches have. Like I said, there's a softball pitcher they have to have, or there's a couple of baseball players that are better than that. You know, they need this guy, and whoever that might be. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a wrestler. Maybe there's women's basketball that, here comes Britt Prince, maybe to get her in the future, it takes a lot of money. I mean, maybe it did already, but I'm saying that they will supplement the other sports. And yes, the football is roster 105 is all 15 million going to go to 105? I don't think so. And I don't think it'll be equal. I'd be very surprised if it's equal. But there's other ways to take care of people. You get a car dealer. A lot of the big money guys are probably going to get a car to lease from the time that they're here. A very nice car. Some basketball programs, all 5 starters get a car. And so on and so forth. So the basketball, and I say this coming from the angle, I don't know what basketball is getting, but I'm just saying that whatever it is, they need more. And so I think 1890 could maybe be a bigger part of basketball. We'll see. I haven't heard Danny Buss from Kelly's opinion on this, what she wants. So she wants great players. And what that takes in volleyball, I don't know. But, I mean, all I know is 1890 will be a very prominent part of this going forward, and Nebraska fans, but also the stadium revenue, any way that they can make money. Selling beer, I don't know have you seen what they're saying that they'll make the first year?
I was seeing something in upper 6 to low 7 figures, I think was the first estimate I saw.
Yeah. So, I mean, that it all goes into a place where it helps. It obviously probably helps pay salaries and pays this and that, but it probably goes into the player thing too. So, it's fascinating, but yes, again, one of maybe the greatest thing Troy Dan and first when he was first hired, getting in with 1890, he and Matt Rule are making sure 1890 is a big part of the program. They weren't necessarily before. They were almost kind of separate. Now they're right in the middle of it. That was huge to get in with them, wear their hats, put 1890 on the field, whatever it takes. All we have to be on the same page. So, it's an interesting thing. What I think is it will be supplemental, but I'm just very curious, as we've talked about, where does basketball fit? Most schools, basketball is number 2. I get the feeling sometimes volleyball is number 2 in Nebraska. And so, whether that's right or not, maybe they would tell me I'm dead wrong. But it's just the feeling I get. And so, be very interesting. But the football thing is interesting, too, because remember when Matt Rule said he kind of divided the 105 into like a top 57, and everybody, and then there's another like the second level after that. I wonder if that 57 are maybe the guys that are going to get paid. That's kind of what I thought, but hopefully we'll find out. Later this summer, and we'll find out if it's 20.5. They may say, well, there's an antitrust part of this where the players should say, well, wait a minute, you're limiting how much we can get. So maybe there shouldn't be a cap. And maybe you could spend up to $25 million. I mean, who knows? I mean, it could go either way. Is there a Title IX aspect to this going forward where you have to pay the men and the women equal or whatever? I mean, so it's very fluid. No, go ahead.
I would say it definitely is fluid. The one thing that I would just add really quick is I think it would be tough for the NCAA and for these schools to set a salary cap and a limit without collective bargaining, right? That's how the big sports leagues get away with it, Tom, is because it was collectively bargained through the Players Association, and they came to an agreement with the owners. It wasn't unilaterally set. That I think is the big difference there.
Yeah. And, it may be 20.5 to start with, but maybe down the road it's raised for that very reason. There's some people, I've talked to some people in athletics who think, well, some schools aren't going to, Alabama or whoever, Ohio State, they're not going to want to pay what everybody else is paying. They're going to want to pay more. So they have more money. They're going to put more money that they would pay up to like $30 million instead of 20 because they could. So this thing could go all kind of different ways. But we'll be on this show every Monday night talking about it, the way this thing goes, and what a time to be in college athletics. What a time!
No kidding. We'll be talking about it here. You'll be reading about it from Tom Shatel on Omaha.com. Definitely make sure you check out that article dropping tomorrow. Tom, as always, really appreciate your time. Have a good rest of your night. Don't blow away in the wind. Stay indoors. Stay safe if you can.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you later.
It's a plan. That's Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald, who joined us on our VIP line, sponsored, as always, by the fantastic people at Allo Fiber. That's where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Thanks to Allo for also giving us channel 961 on their cable package. If you're used to listening to us on your radio dial or on your 93.7 The Ticket mobile app, once you get home, if you're an Allo subscriber, you can pop our bright, shining, smiling visages up on your TV by typing in 961. So huge thanks to Allo. Huge thanks to Tom Shatel for his hour again here on a Monday. That'll do it for me. DeMornay, Pearsonell, Harrison Orange come your way in just a moment.
Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
MWA Pro Wrestling returns to Lincoln Friday night, March 7th at the First Avenue Social Hall. And in Beatrice at the Beatrice Auditorium on Saturday night, March 8th at 7 p.m. Don't miss 2 huge shows. Visit Facebook.com/MWA Pro Wrestling for more information. Tickets are on sale for both events. Friday night, March 7th, 7:30 p.m. First Avenue Social Hall in Lincoln. Saturday night, March 8th at the Beatrice Auditorium, 7 p.m. Brought to you by 10 Pins Fun Center, Felipe Electric, and Stone Hollow Brewing Company.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued